Hello everyone, Shadow SP here. I'm going to talk about some Granblue Fantasy. So, today is a somewhat special day in that I have finally mastered all of the classes up until row 3. Except Gladiator, but Gladiator, in my mind, barely counts as a row 3 class. First of all, the cost to unlock it is absurd, and it requires that you have an EX1 class mastered also. So, we'll come back to this one. It's not that important right now. But up until this point, we can see, where's the thing? Bonuses, there we go. So here are all of our completion bonuses up until now. Our main character has obtained a decent amount of power by mastering all these classes. This is good. We're going to keep moving forward with that in the future. But what do we do now? Well, we're too low level to really deal with the row 4 classes. Even if we can technically get to Relic Buster. So that Relic Buster is on the table. To get to Relic Buster, right? I think I've talked about this at one point before. We need to get these 4 synchronicity cores. So to get these, we need to obtain, and I believe they all have the same price. So it'd be 4 silver centrums, 40 blue sky crystals, 200 saber stones, sword stones, and 200 pistol stones. The stones can be obtained by reducing items. Right, we can go over here. Let's look at this harp. Right, so fire harp. If we reduce it, we're not going to reduce it because I kind of want to keep this harp. But we would get 80 harp stones and some other stuff. Now, if we look at our shop, we can see I already have 162 sword stones because I've reduced 2 swords that I've obtained from side stories, and those come at max level and max uncap, meaning that they reduce for 20 stones per uncap. So base weapon plus 3 stars, 80 stones, plus 1 for the bonus stones that you get for proficiency level. And we end up with 162. So basically, I need to find one more, either one more side story sword to reduce, or 2 drop swords to reduce. You know, just somewhere else that we'd obtain a sword, like an Yggdrasil sword or something like that. However, I still need those, so I'm not going to reduce those anytime soon. Then we need to find some guns to reduce, which is a little harder, but there are a couple of guns that I know of in the side stories that we can reduce. So getting to this shouldn't be a huge issue. Silver centrums, normally you'd get them from the Grand Order raid, which is this one. We can't really do that one right now, given that we're trying to solo raids before we pub them or join them, and that one's pretty high difficulty for us, and we'd have to be ranked 80 to even host it. However, there's another way to get silver centrums. And that way, and this is not what I would recommend doing, is the Premium Friday collection. See, you can spend 2 of the shrimp to get a silver centrum. So essentially, we get 8 of these. We get 4 silver centrums. You can get one of these shrimp for doing one of these quests. And these are all kind of puzzly challenge quests, like the ones that you find in your side stories. So that's pretty close to what we're looking at. However, we still need one more thing, and that is what I haven't been talking about. which is blue sky crystals. Now, I have 22 of these. You can get them from side stories by doing the challenge quests. They drop a blue sky crystal upon first completion. I got one earlier in Arcarum, so they do drop there. But the easiest source of blue sky crystals is co-op. So if we click on co-op, we click on missions, right? If we complete all 3 of these missions in a day, we get a blue sky crystal. These stages generally aren't all that hard. However, you basically have to do these solo, because people don't host or join co-op really anymore. It's a really outdated form of content. And co-op is important for another thing. As I had mentioned when we were talking about classes, right? I had mentioned that since we've mastered all of our Row 3 classes, we are going to move toward, unlocking Relic Buster. Relic Buster is very important. It makes for a big milestone. It is a class that is modern and playable basically through to the end game. As opposed to your Row 3 classes, which are just really outdated when it comes to what they do. And Relic Buster gives us a lot more versatility than these other classes would give us. Now, the next thing to talk about is EX1 classes, extra row 1. And these relate to co-op in that they have requirements that, as before, CP requirement, a treasure requirement, and a trophy requirement. These are different than before, because before these were master one class, master another class. Right, so this is a Mage Creed. Mage Creeds you can get, from some quests in co-op. But you can also get them by trading pendants. So they're not a huge obstacle to entry. What is the obstacle to entry is getting these trophies, because you have to beat certain quests to do them. And in the case of a lot of these EX1 classes, those are co-op quests. So in order to unlock the Alchemist class, we would need to clear the Lost in the Dark Pandemonium Tier 1 co-op. So if we go over to co-op, right, you can see extra Pandemonium Tier 1, we would need to clear this quest, Lost in the Dark. So we're quite a ways away from that, because we need to clear everything else up until that point in order to host it. Now, I've already cleared stage 1 of the co-op, just kind of off screen. I'm probably going to clear the rest of these off screen also, but just to show you, we're going to look at a co-op quest here. So when you're hosting a co-op quest, this shows up. You can post to your room board if you're in a crew. It'll also have a post to crew chat. Generally, not what we would do. If you're looking for assistance, you can find it. There are resources for it out there. I'm not going to really shill for any of them, but if you know where to look, you'll find something. All right, so when you get into co-op, same thing as usual. You'd select your party here, and you'll see this message here. If you're playing solo, you can't use support summon when playing co-op quest solo. This is because when you're playing in co-op rooms, you are only allowed to pick support summons from the support lists of the other players in the room. So when you're the only one around, you don't get a support summon. So let's just run this as it is right now, and we'll go up against this Will-O-Wisp, I guess. Now we should be more than strong enough to deal with this thing. But it's going to be It's basically like our car, right? Where we're not able to use the support summon. Except that the encounters here are technically balanced for you to have them. Now, these are multiplayer content, right? You can see there's 4 up here. So technically, if you have 4 people in your co-op room, it's just like a raid. Other than the fact that nobody joins these. So, again, pretty easy. Just kind of force our way through that one. Right. And, you know, they have some drops, right? You can get some of this stuff that's used to buy co-op items. You can get these things, which you can sell off for a little bit of rupees. And co-op quests, yes, you do get crystals for completing them. It's not that many, but it is some. Right, then you can, where's the thing? Is this the thing? Yeah. So yeah, you can buy, you know, items, you know, like this one increases your RP boost, you know, increases how many rank points you get for completing a stage, you know, increases experience, increases initial charge gauge, gives you some potions, that kind of thing. Most of these are worthless, so don't worry too much about them. If you're trying to hunt for specific drops, where is it? If you're trying to hunt for specific drops, there's this fortuitous feather, which means that the boss starts with that many extra bounty count on it. And, you know, that will increase the drop rate of the non-guaranteed chests. Alright, I don't think there's much else to talk about regarding co-op. So, yeah, basically, we do those. We do co-op stages. Eventually, we'll be able to unlock EX1 classes. Now, that being said, there are other EX1 classes that you do not have to do co-op in order to unlock. So, if we were to look over here, this quest requires you to clear a main story quest only. Main story quest, and then there'll be a free quest that unlocks it, right? Drum Master, in fact, the quest to unlock it, we already have unlocked. Those who may have been paying attention. However, these classes, unlike the other ones, don't require the proofs. Was it proofs? Yeah, creeds. There we go. We don't require mage creeds or warrior creeds. They require merits. And if you recall, we are currently in a massive shortage of merits. So getting these classes will probably have to wait for quite a while. Which is kind of unfortunate, because Mechanic does have a specific utility for fast burst, but that utility is largely, if we go directly toward Relic Buster, it largely gets eaten up by Relic Buster, because Relic Buster does it better. So, anyway, that was a short demonstration on co-op, and kind of the merits of co-op, what co-op has to do, and the classes that we're looking to obtain in the future. So I'm going to work on those. Probably going to do a little bit more co-op, see where we are, see if we reach a wall or anything. If we do, well, that's going to be unfortunate, but we'll get through it. Until next time, and next time is probably going to be more main story. I would like to get main story up through chapter 54 if possible. So we're going to want to go through another couple segments to get there. But until then, this has been Shadow SP. Yeah, signing off.